So about what the, I know, right? So about like 5 minutes into talking to him, I dropped the ball. I'm like, all right, so what happened to your foot, bruh? Sheila, they're haunted. They know. I know they know. I'm like, what happened to your foot, Holmes? He's like, what happened to your feet, Holmes? I'm like, Holmes. I don't know why I was saying what I was saying. The tequila was probably talking at this point. I was like, I have both my legs. They just don't work. And he was like, yeah, but what happened? I said, I asked you. Where's my straightener? I was like, I asked you first. He was like, yeah, but ladies first. And I'm like, we ain't doing this today. We are not doing this today, Junior. I didn't know his name. Where the fuck is my straightener? This is why I need to clean my makeup room, because I don't know where shit is. I see it. I can see the cord. Hello, Ariana. How are you, beautiful? So it turns out this was a weird story. I didn't even understand half of it. I had so many questions. Even when he would answer my questions, it was like question 1 and then A, B, C, D, E. You know how in school you would have like, what do we call it? Where you'd be like example 1 and then example 1A. You know what I'm talking about? Y'all know what I'm talking about? Let me know if you know what I'm talking about. I'm so bloated. Hello, Pam. So this, you guys want to know, let me know down below if you want to know how this man lost his foot. If not, I'll keep going with my story. So he tells me his story, and I'm just like, what, how, when, where? I don't understand. This is a lot to take in. I'm going to need you to slow your roll, Peter. His name wasn't Peter. It was like Patron. It was like Petra. I don't know. He was from Europe. He was Slovakian or something like that. Slovakian or I don't know. It was like Petro. I thought of Petra when he first said it. Like OGT type shit. On the examples that I was talking about. See, look, this is why I'm so dumb. Like, I started a whole ass conversation with you guys, and then I'm like, what are you talking about, you fucking weirdo? When all in all, I'm the dumbass that can't remember what we're talking about ever. So I tell him what happened to me, and he's just like, wow, you're an absolute blessing to be here. I'm like, am I though? Because you don't realize how shitty and fucked up my life has been the last year. Supporters know exactly how even the last like 4 months of my life have been going. And he was just like, well, he was like, let me put it to you this way. I'm like, oh, here we go. You should be so thankful you're alive. That's a speech I thought that he was going to, he didn't have an accent, no. Oh, okay, Cheryl. I'm like, huh? He didn't have an accent. He's been in the States since he was like wee little, so he lost his accent like I have. It's just he obviously still had. I don't remember what it was. It was somewhere from Europe, but it was close to Poland. I just can't remember what. I think he said he was Slovakian or something. And you have to tell it now. Already started. True. And so he started telling me he was just. I thought that he was gonna give me the speech of you should be thankful you're alive. Like, it could have been worse. And I'm like, dude, like, that's not what I want to hear right now. Like, blah, blah. But instead, he was just like, well, all in all, he was like, you had a shitty year, right? And I was like, yeah, pretty much. Like, it was one thing after another. I didn't obviously go into detail, but I was like, it was one thing after another. Like, I, for the life of me, could not catch a break. Like, I couldn't. Like, finally, this is like the start of this month. Well, actually, no, because shit's already happened this month. But like every month, I'm just hoping and praying that the month goes by smoothly and nothing happens. So the end of the month, obviously, I was in Jello. Then my mom was actually in Clearwater, Florida. Didn't even tell me. Rude. Like, I don't know, I have to get all into it in supporters, but I was like, dude, I have not been able to have a break, like, whatsoever. He was like, think about it this way, and I was like, think about what, sir? Think about what, Pete? I'm just gonna call him Peter, because I don't remember how to pronounce his name. I even had him pull out his ID for me to see how it was spelled, because I was like, you're making it sound like it's a lot more complicated than it needs to be, Peter. I'm pretty sure at the end of the night I just started calling him Peter. But fast forward, he pretty much told me, he was like, if you can sit there and push through even the smallest inconveniences in your life, imagine what you can do when a big inconvenience happens. I'm like, motherfucker, we've been there. We've done that. He was like, yeah, but think about it. He was like, you're still pushing through. You're still going through it. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that everything's going to be okay because life sucks. I was like, wow, you should be a therapist. Me going home and offering myself after talking to Peter. Jasmine, actually, that's a myth. You do not need to chop your hair for it to grow. That is not true, girl. Your hair dies as soon as it comes out your roots. It's pretty much dying as soon as it comes out your roots. And, like, as soon as it goes, it's already dying. From the sun, from the air, from your AC, from the car fumes, from your house fumes, everything, girl. It should be dying. And, so he's sitting there telling me how, like, if you overcame all of this, imagine how much more you can overcome, blah, 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 whatever. And I'm like, yeah, I mean, I look at it like that every single day of my life. But when does it stop? He's like, I'll tell you something. It never does. And I'm like, well, aren't you just a great, what did I call him? Oh, what did I say to him? Hi, Karen. How are you, beautiful? What did I call him? I was like, aren't you just a great... Shit. Not me not remembering. Frank, I can't hold you right now, babies. Oh, what did I call him? I said something along the lines of, like, aren't you just, like, a great... Like, you're such a great... I don't know what the hell I called it. Well, someone lied to me then. Yeah, they did, girl. People say to trim your ends, your hair will grow back quicker. It does not. It just seems like your hair's growing quicker because you're just gaining back what you cut off. What you cut off, girl. But it is healthy for you to cut your ends, truthfully. But yeah, even though, I mean, my hair just looks like it's dead as hell, girl, but it's just because it's so light from the sun. Like, when you truthfully look at my hair in person, I do not have that many dead ends. A ray of sunshine. I don't know. Oh, breath of fresh air. Yes, that's what I said. I said, aren't you just... And then I was like, you are just sore for the eyes too. You're a package. And that's what I just kept telling him. And he was just like, no, look at it this way. He was like, I have 2 daughters and a son. And then he told me how he lost his son. And I was like, shit. The son actually was there with him when his thing happened. So let me tell you guys how this man lost his foot. He said it was 23 years ago. So if he was 68 now, he was in his 40s, 45, 46. I don't know the exact age, whatever it may be. It was him, his son. I want to say it was his brother because he kept saying that his son just kept screaming for his uncle. So I'm assuming it was his brother or maybe his wife's brother. I don't know. Hello, Heather. And they were on a trip. It's a little wild. You got to keep up with me here. And I'm going to try to say it the same way that I explained it as best as I can. Okay? Hello, Marina. I got to turn that fan off. It's driving me fucking insane. Not my thighs rubbing against my wheel. Hello, Sharon. Hello, Megan. So he was with his son. His son was, I want to say 12 or 13. No. He was under 18. He was in high school, he said. Because his daughters were, hi baby. What are you doing? You went up here? Come on. Oh, you want me to carefully up here. Your fucking feet are a mess again from the wetness. You guys sit though. Frank, I can't do this. You gotta sit. Not him grunting at me. I'm trying to tell a story and you're distracting me. Here, I'm gonna give you kisses and you gotta go. Tell him bye. Tell him hi and bye. Tell him. Say hi, everybody. Say, my paws are raw again, Mom. It's only this one right here. Why are you hitting yourself? Why are you hitting yourself? Perfect, simple, looks girly. Looks great, thank you. Tell him hi and then tell him bye. Tell him hi and then tell him bye. Hello, Loopy, how are you, beautiful? You guys, if you aren't following Beauty by Loopy, go and give her a follow. Get down. Frank, come on now. Not him fighting me. Come on. Frank. Go get your toy. I'll play with you. Go get your toy. Go get your toy. Go get your toy. Wait, why are y'all arguing over here? You guys, it's not that serious. Oh, Claire. He's gone. I'm not going to straighten my hair all the way, you guys. I'm just going to do bits and pieces of it because I don't really care to have it completely straight because it is going to be wash day on Sunday. But yeah, so he was with his son and I'm assuming his brother or his wife's brother. I don't know. Moral of the story is I'm going to continue to how this man lost his fucking leg because I think it's absolutely insane. Got it, T. Got what? Taylor. Hey girl, how are you this evening? I'm good, Beverly. How are you, babe? So, at first when he started the story, I kind of didn't believe him because I was like, I feel like you were lying. I feel like you're just trying to make me, you know, because I know this. When I first got injured, I was telling people off the wall stories about how I got injured just for shits and giggles. A bunch of my friends would witness it. A bunch of my friends would also, Jessica especially, and Ashley would tell people off the wall shit about how I got injured. That was just our way of messing with people, and it was fucking hilarious. I don't even see that, thread anymore. Is that what you meant, Taylor? What?
Just laughing at you, babe.
Why are you laughing at me?
Because I find you hot.
You're laughing at me because you find me hot?
Maybe. Just a little.
Interesting. You guys, I'm never going to get to the bottom of this damn story, am I? Anyways, so I used to tell people off the wall shit. I know, Devin. I suck. My ADHD is horrible. Unless you're here in person with me, nothing. I didn't mean to just randomly comment, was responding to them. Oh, I was like, oh, what'd you get? What happened? And so, all right. These are the men's legs, okay? This is how he showed me the story. He said these are the men's legs. So they're on a trip. Your highlight, right? It's the Halloween candy corn palette from Spoiled. So here's him, okay? These are this man's legs. And what? I thought he was talking to me. So these are these man's legs, okay? And then this is the front seat of the car, okay? These are his legs. So he had his one leg right here in the middle of the front seat of the cars. Can y'all see how that is happening here? Front seat of the car. In the passenger seat was his son. In the driver's seat was his uncle or the his brother. I don't know. There was uncle. There, I just remember him telling me that somebody was screaming for his uncle, and I think it was his son. So here's the front seats. This might be a little bit of a trigger warning for those of you that have been in a car wreck, I suppose. So if you want to exit the live now, get the fuck out. I'm just kidding. So his legs are like this, right? And this man is literally showing me this example right here with beer bottles. Hi, Ashley, how are you? With beer bottles and Keno lottery pencils, all right? Hi, Jen Jen. Hello, Ashlyn. So here's the front seat of the car. At this point, the front seat was a napkin. This was here, and then the other two people were pencils. I don't know. This is just the way that he was explaining it to me. So he showed it to me from this way. He goes, they were driving down the road, and they were coming back from a hunting trip or, I don't know, some kind of trip. And I was like, okay, relevant how? Objection, relevance, no relevance. I don't know what they say. Letty, you won random gift items, so message them on their live chat. It reminds me of that crab leg TikTok. I'm dead. I don't even know what crab leg TikTok you're talking about, but why? Good to catch you live. Hello, beautiful. And so here's the front seat. His son was leaned back a little bit, so this leg was like pretty much touching the back of the seat, right? And then his leg was through the middle part of it, which whenever I've sat in the back seat, my legs are super long, so I would throw my legs there, obviously, you know what I mean, on like trips or anything like that. So they're coming back. Hello, Daniel. Hello, Donald. Hello, Tanya. So they're like this. The driver's driving. He said it was late at night. I can't remember what weather conditions there were, or if he described his weather conditions. But he said that it was late at night, and all of them were obviously exhausted and just rushing to go home. He said that his son wanted to stop by and get food. So they were like, all right, we'll pull over on the next exit. And he said that's all he remembers his son asking or talking about. Hope my watch comes by next Saturday. It should, Michael, because people have been already getting their orders for Monday. Whose wedding? And so he said that they pulled up on the exit, and there was a car that was broke down. And I don't know if he's a good Samaritan, whatever it may be. He said that they saw two young girls, so they pulled over. It is what it is. They pulled over to help them because it was like late at night. It was an exit road. They didn't know if, they needed gas. There was a gas station right there. They could go and get him gas, whatever. They ended up pulling over. He said that when his driver, which was the uncle, got out of the car to talk to them, he stayed in the car. He didn't bother getting out. All he did was just get out. He left the keys in the driver's seat, or in the driver, like in the ignition. I got my order. Yeah, not a good Samaritan. I don't know what he is. I used to be the type of person that would stop by and pick people up and try to take them wherever they need to go. But we're in 2023 right now, okay? You can't even go to the fucking grocery store without being at risk of getting napped or slapped or capped. Like, I don't know. And he said within like 2 seconds, like he said that all he saw was his, I can't remember if it was his uncle or if it was his brother. But anyways, I'm going to just say uncle. He saw his uncle walking towards the vehicle. And this was like 22, 23 years ago or whatever. He said that all he remembers is he was walking towards his vehicle. Next thing he knew, there was somebody in the driver's seat driving off with their car. His son was like fighting the wheel. Hello, Mandy. At a young age, he was like a teenager, I believe he told me. Fighting the wheel with this guy, trying to figure out what's going on. Like, he's, with all of them arguing, like going back and forth, his leg was lodged and stuck, so he couldn't kick his leg back. Hello, Jenny. He couldn't kick his leg back to try to like help the situation, so he was stuck. So he was just reaching. He couldn't move this leg because it was so close to the seat or whatever. So he started reaching, started trying to help, whatever, like pulled on the guy's shoulders, neck, like trying to pull from this angle, like grabbing on his shirt, trying to get him going. They ended up driving like through. How are his watches so cheap? Jay's watches are pricey. They drove through like all of the like side roads that highways have, exit highways, whatever. They drove through it like recklessly, whatever. At this point, we don't know what's going on with Uncle back there, right? Like, what's happening? Hello Donna, hello Karen, hello Emma, how are you guys? Hello Michelle, congratulations on your win, Michelle. So yeah, they're literally sitting there like fighting, trying to figure out what the hell's happening. Like he just keeps screaming. Yeah, that's what they think it was. So he said all he remembers is it went from being a rough road to a clear road, and next thing they knew, they were in between two cars. So what had happened was, I guess they crossed through. When they got off of the, like, when they went off the exit, they somehow got back on the highway from, like, going this way, and they got back on the highway. So all they remember is they ended up crashing into two cars. One of them was a semi, which came in from the back, and the semi pushed them into the, hello, Leslie, into the other car, right? So at this point, here he is with his legs lodged like that. His son's in the front seat trying to, you know, get the situation under control. I mean, I don't know. I mean, who knows? How do you know what to do in that kind of a situation, you know? The semi slams on like their brakes, ends up hitting them into another car, so they get lodged and stuck. At this point, the whole right side of the vehicle, the passenger vehicle, love your nail color, thank you, it's 375 skate to the party. The whole passenger side vehicle area, whatever, was pretty much smashed in, like just nothing there. Okay, literally nothing there. They were on a guardrail, like smashed between a semi and all of that. The driver's side of the car, hello Joanne. The driver's side of the car was, the only thing that was smashed into it was the bumper of it and then the tail end. The back door wasn't openable, but the side door or the front door was. Hello Les, how are you, babe? Within like 2 seconds of that happening, all he says he remembers, he kept going in and out of it, in and out of it. The driver ended up being able to snuggle, slither his way out of the vehicle and went on the side of the road. He told the people that were involved in the accident, he was like, oh my gosh, like, that's my brother in there, and that's my son in there, da-da-da-da-da, like, you know, trying to tell him, like, what's, like, please go tend to them, go tend to them, go tend to them, don't worry about me, don't worry about me. This is what witnesses said, you know what I mean? That's what was stated in all, like, the multiple police reports. While the people were tending to him, this man took off. He said, peace out. So, when the EMTs got there, his son was pronounced dead on scene. And they had to use the claw to get him out of the vehicle. When they were doing, like, working with the claw, he did have numerous breaks in his, from the knee down, which he's amputated from about halfway of his thigh, but he did have a bunch of breakage in his, like, from his knee down. But when they were working with the claw, it was so dark and there was so much damage to the vehicle, they had no idea that his leg was in the front seat. So they were working with the claw and, like, pulling all of the shit out and all of that stuff. And when they went to go pull him out, which obviously they don't just jerk you out of the shit, but when they went to go take him out, what had happened was his leg stayed lodged in between there, and when they pulled him, they completely snapped it. So, like, it was just there was like a clean, pretty much a clean cut, I would imagine, right? I don't know, depending on the shatterness of it. But yeah, so he said that he was in and out of it. He didn't remember anything. Hello, Nicole, how are you? They said that the police that was there and took all of the police reports, they said they were going to investigate it. They tried to look at the semi-driver's camera footage, but because it was so dark and the guy was wearing an all-black hoodie and a hood, and all the witnesses that he spoke to didn't, like, think to clearly look at him. Who was the driver? Did anyone survive? He survived. He did lose his son. The semi-driver was fine. The person in front of him was fine. I think the person in front of him, he said that they had dogs with them, or a dog with them. The dog ended up running off, but the dog was found later on at the scene. Like, the dog didn't go off too far. I think it just ran off being scared, and then it came back or something. But yeah, so he was like, to this day, like, anytime anyone gets in a vehicle with me, I tell him, don't don't lean your front seat back to a point where the driver has no ability to move their like feet or anything like that. Even if they tell you they're comfortable, they said, like, he said, I tell him, like, with any emergency situation that can happen, you should be able to be mobile. Poor man, that's just horrific. Yeah, so he said the only thing that I'm blessed with is the fact that I was in and out of it, and I didn't hear, because the son didn't die immediately on impact. He ended up bleeding out internally, so he was suffocating on his own blood. So he was like, the only thing I'm thankful for was that I was so in and out of it that I did not listen to my son's last breaths. He was like, the only thing I kept hearing was him screaming for his uncle. And I think he said, I think the only reason why he was screaming for his uncle is because he knew that I couldn't help him. And the last recollection he had before all of that happened, what's it called? Before all of that happened was his uncle getting out of the car. So then I'm like, well, what the fuck happened to the dude that got out of the car with the girls? He was like, oh, they just had him go to the gas station. He drove their vehicle. Hello, Pasidio? I don't know how to say your name. Car accidents are a touchy subject to me. I know, that's why I was like, trigger warning to anyone. You gone, but you're a long time. Wait, what, Donna? So I was like, well, what happened to the guy that got out of the car at the beginning of all of this happening? Like, what the hell? Oops. Let me turn my brightness back on. And he was like, the girls told him that they were out of gas as soon as he came up. And then he tried to attempt to start the car, but when everything that was going on happened, all he said was the uncle ran. He was running and following the car. Hello, Celia, the car that they were in. That he didn't even like think to look at the license plate of the girls. He literally was just like, boom. Like, he just started following. I'm sure when it was happening, the uncle was just didn't even think that they could possibly get back on the highway. Maybe he thought that they would like wreck into like a tree or like one of those power boxes or like a guardrail or a ditch or anything like that. But no, they made it back onto the highway. The uncle actually ended up being found like walking down the road. Like when the traffic started stopping, the uncle just kept saying, my family's up there, my family's up there, my family's up there. So when the police cruisers and the EMTs were going on like the sidelines, heartbreaking, right? On the sidelines to go, hi Cassie, he sat there and he kept flagging them down and kept flagging them down. And finally a cruiser pulled over and they were like, there's an emergency. Like, do you have an emergency? And he was like, yes, that's my family up there. Yeah, that's my family up there. So he got in the cruiser with him and went. There was nothing, the girls didn't do anything to him. Hello, Cindy. And to this day, like he said that I think it was his brother. I don't know. He said that he holds so much guilt because if he would have just stayed with the girls or would have like, I don't know, got the license plate or anything, he says that they could have found who did it. But it was a back road. It was dead black. I'm sure the guy ran away from the scene and ran back to the car or called them and was like, you know, abort mission or something like that. But yeah, shit was crazy. I was like, where did this happen? Like, what the hell? He was like on the outskirts of the Dakotas. And I was like, oh, okay. No idea what the fuck that means, but sure, buddy. But yeah, so he told me, he was like, the next time you go up to a person and ask them how their fucking limbs are missing, be considerate if they want to talk about it. And I was like, sir, you're right. Because, you know, when people approach me, I don't care to talk about my accident, but I never took into consideration that not everybody wants to speak on something traumatizing like that. But he did. And then right after that, I had a shot with him, which was disgusting. He drank wild turkey. I was like, I touched wild turkey once in my life, and I will never touch it ever again. I did have Margie, I blacked out, and then I did, my organs and my lungs collapsed on me, my organs were failing on me, so I was literally, pronounced bodily dead. Like, my organs were done, but my brain was still functioning. I just couldn't tell my body to stop failing on me. Like, it just kept trying to make me like breathe out of out of trauma or something. I don't know. They went into a whole spiel about it. Yeah, Taylor, never again. But yeah, I had Goldschlager. Haven't had that in forever. Last time I had that was with Brandon and Monica at the bar. But yeah, story time's over. I am going to jump off here so I can go and get food because I am starving. But yeah, lesson learned. I'm never going to approach people just out of nowhere and be like, yo, what happened to you? I'm going to let them. Did I just, like, was there a scab on that or what? I think when I was, yeah. No, it's just red. I thought that was blood. When I was in the shower, I'm pretty sure that I washed my face too hard and it like busted it open. Margie, I literally was almost pronounced dead. Can we watch you eat? Bet. So I cannot tell you because I wasn't there. My body had logged out, girl. I was unconscious and dying. So I cannot tell you. Whatever, that will work. So, that sounds like a kind man to remember what he said. I know, I will. How long did it take for paramedic? Girl, I have no idea, Margie. I don't know. I know when EMT got there, they were like, huh. This bitch needs air care. She's dead. Put me in a helicopter and send me there. The thing is, I always tell people, people are like, oh, I've never been on a helicopter. I'm like, I have to, like, was it cool? I'm like, oh, I don't know. I was dead. But I appreciate you guys so freaking much. So hopefully whatever I said, you guys take into consideration too. You know what I mean? But yeah, shout out to that guy for being as strong as he has been the last 22, 23 years of his loss of his son and his limb. But like he said, shit happens. And it is what it is. But yeah, I'll see you guys here in a little bit, okay? Peace out, Girl Scouts. I'm gonna go get my ass changed. And I'll talk to you guys later. Peace out, Girl Scouts. Bye.